As a man, the question, does she like me, will be one that follows you through your entire romantic life. Albeit the answer is most likely no, I'm here to help you see the signs, on the very small off chance the answer is a yes. So when it comes to wondering if a woman likes you, there are a few scenarios you could be in where you aren't quite sure if a girl is into you or not. I am going to simulate a few of these scenarios in this YouTube video so you can decipher the situation yourself. Scenario number 1. Let's say you're in class and one of the girls comes over to your table and sits next to you. She stares right at you, and as soon as you catch her looking, she quickly looks away. She looks over at you again, and a third time before finally introducing herself. You exchange names, and over the weeks she tries to speak to you mid-lecture. Is she into you? Probably not, chances are she's just an extrovert. She likes speaking to people, and you just happen to be one of the few people with a free seat. She's probably not into you, bro. Now let's expand on that scenario. Over a couple of months, you've gotten quite familiar with each other, and you became friends. She laughs at your jokes, which is weird because you're not really a funny guy. She touches you and holds eye contact for seconds at a time. At the end of one of your classes, she calls out to you in private and asks if you want to watch a movie and maybe get some food afterwards. You say yes. You guys go out and have a great time together. Is she into you? You can't really tell. If she only sits next to you in classes, then you're probably her only friend, which is an ick. She might be new to the city and doesn't want to go out alone. So yeah, trying to get ahead of yourself. But taking a short segue from the scenarios, one of the older ways men try to attract women is through cold approaching. Cold approaching is when you walk up to a random woman you find attractive on the street and try to raise her up, as the kids call it today. Cold approaching is a dying tradition. Most men just don't have the courage to approach a woman in public anymore because it is terrifying. But the need to talk to a woman you find attractive is biological. So in a group of guys, one of them will tell the other guys that he would like to speak to a girl that caught his eye, which is where the very dangerous sentence, "What's the worst that could happen?" is uttered. Most likely by the guy least likely to approach a woman. But in case you do approach that woman, here's what to do after cold approaching a woman in public. On the very small chance she says yes and gives you her contact information, then congrats, bro. Just wait about 1 to 3 business days before calling her. We both know you're desperate, but she doesn't have to. On the more plausible chance she says no, this is where you need to change her mind. Be a man. Because if there's one thing women love, it's annoying persistence from a man they're not interested in. On top of annoying persistence, you need to demonstrate your masculinity. This looks like flexing your biceps in front of her, doing some push-ups, just any emoji that demonstrates your status as an alpha male. And this works because it is a biological mating strategy called peacocking. Animals will show their physical or genetic prowess in an attempt to attract a mate. Peacocks have their feathers, lions have their manes, elephants have their tusks, and men have their muscles. And wallets. After demonstrating how strong you are, if she isn't borderline enamored by how masculine you are, if she isn't hypnotized by the sheer amount of testosterone pouring from your body, then she's probably just gay. But fear not, my how to convert a lesbian back to normal. Scenario number 2. Let's say you develop the psychopath confidence to approach a woman in public. You call out to a pretty woman you saw, she turns around, and as soon as she looks at you, her eyes light up, and a subtle smile forms in her face. She's been waiting for a handsome young man like you to approach her. You tell her your name, and before you even ask her for hers, she bashfully introduces herself and reaches for a handshake. You have an amazing conversation with her. She constantly looks you in the eyes and laughs at your jokes. You've only just met, but she's already touching your arm and playfully shoving you. And when the interaction comes to a close, she asks you for your phone number. You exchange contact information and she walks away, but not without turning around for one last look. One last look at your impressive manly physique. Does she like you? You can't really tell, She's a very attractive woman, so chances are she gets approached a lot. She just figured the quickest way to get you to leave her alone is to pretend she's interested. So yeah, I don't think she's into you, dog. She probably blocked your number. Rejection is an inevitable part of life. It doesn't matter who you are, you will probably get turned down by a woman at some point. Even I have been rejected before. Shock. I know. But the next step is to handle the rejection with grace and ensure you keep your confidence and pride. Here are a few ways to handle rejection that will make her regret saying no to you. The first one, and an all-time classic, is the "that's fine, you're ugly anyway." What this will usually do is have her thinking, an attractive, confident man like him was willing to give me a chance, yet I had the audacity, the gall to say no. I must ask for a second chance. She now understands that you weren't after her for her body like these other guys are. You saw something more in her. The second line that will make her regret saying no to you is a bit of a risky one, fellas, I'm gonna be honest. But simply say to her, "I don't usually date insert race girls anyway." For example, if she's white, you say, "I don't usually date white girls anyway." If she's Asian, you say, "I don't usually date Asian girls anyway." If she's black, what this indicates is that you found her so attractive that you were willing to break your cultural boundaries for her. Well, anyways guys, that is just a few ways you can handle rejection, and even maybe get her chasing after you. A red flag is a negative trait that someone possesses, which usually means they won't be a good partner, but a lot of people will ignore red flags for a pretty face. Here are just a few examples of red flags so you guys know what I'm talking about. Number one is if the other person compares you to their ex a lot, or still talks about their ex. This is a pretty good sign that they aren't over that person, so maybe it's not your turn to ruin their life just yet. Let's say you and your girl just finished having intercourse, and she says something along the lines of, "I'm so glad yours isn't big. My ex had like 6 inches and it wasn't fun because the big ones hurt." In this situation, you simply just block her on everything and run. She's probably not lying, she probably does enjoy your inferior member more, but regardless, why would she do that to you? Red flag number 2 is if they are rude to people. When you've been with as many women as I have, you learn a few things, and one of the things I've learned is that a lot of women tend to be attracted to the guy that's an asshole to everyone, but has a sweet spot just for her. This is a red flag because it's just basic manipulation. They're playing on your desperate need for attention and validation. If you find yourself attracted to this type of person, then it's a good sign that you need therapy. Red flag number 3 is if they call you names during an argument. All couples are inevitably going to get into a fight, and you should hope to be with someone that can get through those times like a mature adult. For example, my ex-girlfriend was white, and every time we got into an argument, she would call me the N-word. Narcissist. So I ended the relationship because it was a sign we weren't compatible. Let's say you go to the club with a few of your boys, and as the night goes on, you notice all your friends are slowly getting drunk, but you decided not to drink that night. You sit at the bar alone and watch all your friends have the time of their lives, when suddenly a girl sits next to you. She looks over and nods at you, and you awkwardly raise your drink and nod back. You notice she has a Star Wars shirt on. You walk up to her and ask who her favorite Star Wars character is, and she passionately responds, "Spock!" You laugh because you think she's joking. She asks you about yours, and you eventually spend the entire night talking about Star Wars. You notice that she isn't really taking part, she's just staring deeply into your eyes and stroking your arm as you ramble on about Star Wars. After a while, she says, "I have a life-size Spock action figure and you should come to my house and check it out." You laugh again because you think she's still joking about the Spock thing. You bashfully say yes and make your way to her apartment. And as soon as you get to her place, she jumps on you and you both fall back on her couch. She starts taking off her clothes and ripping yours off too. You start making out, which leads to a night of passionate love. Does she like you? Maybe. Your wife of 40 years and the mother of your 3 children lays on her deathbed. She's been suffering from dementia for months, and her condition is only getting worse. She doesn't even remember who she is anymore. But in her final moments, in her last breath, she looks at you, touches your chin, holds your cheek, and says, "I love you." Does she like you? Maybe.